Hey, I'd like to welcome everybody back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, a place where you come to get some words of encouragement, some positive words, words of wisdom, and some uplifting. Today's episode, man, I really don't have too much of a subject for today. It has been a very long week and a half for me. I got a lot of stuff going on, nothing life threatening, thank God. But just a lot of minor inconveniences that are just starting to add up little by little. But that's one of the things that I guess that's one of the things that this podcast is about, is just showing people that tough times are going to come for everybody. You just have to learn how to push through those tough times and keep working, keep grinding, keep doing what you need to do to get to the other side of those tough times. And the only way to get to the other side is to go through whatever it is that you're going through. So, like I said, this week has just been a long week. Again, not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say it's been an impossible week or anything like that, because like I said, it's nothing life threatening. It's just a bunch of things that are just inconvenient, and it's just like one thing after another. And you know how that happens. Once one thing happens, then another, and it just kind of starts to snowball a little bit. But so my mind really has not been on doing the podcast, or coming up with subjects for the podcast, or just topics to talk about. But I said, but y'all know me, y'all know how I am when it comes to how easily 1 week of not doing something, of me not doing it, could turn into 2 weeks, could turn into 3 weeks. So I'm not trying to have these built-in excuses for myself. So, even though my mind hasn't my mind hasn't been in the right space to really record the podcast, I've said, what, that doesn't even matter. I don't want to use that as an excuse not to get on here and not to talk for at least 30 minutes about something, anything. And I think that one of the things that I want to talk about is, I seen and I got to start remembering people's names so I can give them credit. But I seen a post on a reel on TikTok, and it was like the lady was talking about being still, like even in when you're going through stuff, when you just lost your job, or you just got out of a relationship or a marriage or whatever. You got to learn how to be still, because for her, she was saying like God's working things out for you, but sometimes you just have to be still. Sometimes we want to move on to the next job or move on to the next relationship, and we're not working on God. We're not trusting God's timing. We're not working on God's timing. We're trying to work on our own timing, our own understanding. And you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we put ourselves in worse situations because of it, instead of just being still, having a moment of stillness where you're not trying to do anything, you're not trying to force anything, you're not trying to push anything. You're just sitting there still, just letting things process and happen the way they're supposed to. And and it kind of resonated with me in that moment. And and literally, like, the next day, things just started happening, kind of again, nothing crazy, but just kind of, like I said, poorly timed, inconvenient things just started happening back to back. So that's when my mind kind of went back to the video, and I was like, okay, this might be just one of those moments where I need to be still. And and that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to learn how to do, because I'm not a very patient person, and so being still requires a lot of patience. So this week has been very tough for me, and I know going forward is going to continue to be tough, because I want to learn how to be still in my troubled times. Like when troubled times come, and and those waters start to get deep and those waves start to get high, I want to learn how to not be troubled, and just to be still, and just to be calm, and just to kind of let whatever's going to happen, and and just continue to fight it my way through whatever it is that I'm going through. But it's just hard because my patience isn't there. But I guess this is the perfect time to start working on my patience, to start trying to get better and improve on just being still when I got so much chaos moving around me, so many moving parts going on around me, and just learning how to be still. So it's been, that part has probably been tougher than the situations that I'm going through, because it is just so hard. Again, when you're programmed and you're used to something happens, now you got to react. Something goes down, now you got to try to fix it, or you're trying to fix it before it even starts, because you see it coming. You see whatever the problem is, you see it coming down the road. You're already peeping, okay, this is going to potentially be a problem, so you're already trying to fix things before they become a problem. So to go from those type of mindsets to now, just be still, just be calm, trust the process, it's going to work out, don't worry about it. It's definitely a 180 shift from what I've been used to doing and what I've been conditioned to do, like for 30, you know what I'm saying, going on 30 years now. And it's just weird. It's definitely, the only thing that it's doing right now, because I'm not used to it, it's just making me even more anxious. And I'm trying, but that's the battle that I'm trying to deal with, is I'm trying to battle my anxiety, because I feel like I need to be doing something, but in some of these situations there's nothing that I can do. It's literally out of my hands, it's out of my control. There's nothing that I can do to change or fix the situation. So literally all I can do is accept it and be still in this moment. But it's just so hard, because I don't know how to do that. And I know that it is the best thing for me to do, because again, there's nothing I can do. At the end of the day, no matter how hard I want to try to fix it, no matter how hard I want to try to repair it, no matter how hard I want to try to go back in time and change what happened, I can't do any of those things. So it's out of my hands. What's done is done. Now we just got to deal with the fallout and the aftermath of what's going on. And it's just hard for me to just kind of have to just sit back and just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like being in these positions where I can't affect what's going on, or I can't change what's going on in my life. But you know, that's just life. That's just the way this particular cookie crumbled, and I have to learn how to be okay with that. I have to learn how to accept that, because there's, like I said, there's nothing else for me to do. And so I think just talking to people and, you know, hearing that post, or hearing the woman say what she said in that particular post, and then getting ready to go through all of this, it's like, okay, this is my moment to be still. This is my moment to really just take a step back, analyze, figure out what went wrong, how it went wrong, how I can make sure that I'm prepared better next time around, and even more importantly, how I can try to avoid it, make sure that it doesn't happen again going forward. So that's just where my mind is now at this point, because like I said, it's been like a week and a half of this going on, like the things just kind of starting to pile up. So now at this point, there's still anxiousness there. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but I've accepted certain things about the situations. I've accepted certain things about it, and the things that I have accepted, it's allowed me to just be like, okay, it happened. What can I do to make sure it doesn't happen again? And off the rare chance that it would happen again, what can I do better to respond to it happening again? So, you know, the parts that I've wrapped my head around and just kind of accepted as, okay, there's nothing I can do but to change that. I'm starting to slowly, you know, learn how to be still and about those things, because there's absolutely nothing I can do. It's just learning how to just be still. I'm just trying to figure out how to make that my initial reaction, you know what I'm saying, my initial response, or just maybe not my initial response, because my initial response might just be, oh wow, or shock, whatever it is. But then once I'm through with my initial response, I need to try to learn how to be still in those moments. So that's something that I'm trying to figure out. And man, it is not easy. You know, I've never been shy about saying I'm not I've never been a person who's been great with suppressing or dealing with certain emotions, certain negative emotions like anger, frustration, things like that. I've never been good with handling those in a great way, in a positive way. So when things happen that I know are going to anger or frustrate me, it's definitely not easy handling those things in a positive way. But the good thing about these past couple of months that's shown me, at least I know that that's a problem now. I think that the worst thing about, you know, years before is that I didn't even see it as a problem again, because, you know, you see so many people around you expressing themselves in the similar ways that you express yourself, so you don't think nothing's wrong with that. Or even if, or it's maybe subconsciously you know that there's something wrong, but you're not really thinking about it, because again, there's so many people who express themselves, or their anger comes out in certain ways, their frustrations come out in certain ways. It's like, okay, I do that too, so you know what I'm saying, that's norm. And you know, there's a part of you that realizes that knows, okay, I probably shouldn't be expressing my anger this way. I shouldn't be expressing my frustrations this way. I shouldn't feel out of control. I shouldn't be blanking out, things going red or things going black, and then, you know, I'm losing control. You know, that's not a good thing. So there is a part of you that realizes that. But you know what I'm saying, until you really see it as a real issue and you really start doing the work to focus on correcting that issue and making it better, you really aren't doing anything about it. You might, like I said, you might make a mental note like, maybe I shouldn't be blacking out and losing control of myself when I get that angry, or maybe that is a bad thing. But if you're not really focusing in on it, locking in on it to try to change that behavior, to try to do better when it comes to things like that, it's like, what's the point of even acknowledging it if you don't want to really put the time in to work on it? So I say all of that to just say I'm at a point now where I do recognize that I don't handle change well. I do understand that I'm at a point now where I do understand that I don't express a lot of negative emotions well. I don't know how to suppress or to handle certain situations that I know are going to bring out negative emotions, such as anger and frustration out of me. I know when those situations come around, they're going to bring those type of emotions out of me. I know I don't express or handle those emotions well. So I am working hard to do better with that. And there have been several situations in the past couple of months where I would typically react a certain way, and I've been working hard to not act those ways. I'm not where I want to be, but at least I can honestly say, and I think that the people who've seen me and seeing the growth can say that, yeah, he's not where he used to be. And for me, I'm happy about that. I'm not satisfied because I want to keep going. I want to get to the point to where I want to be. But since I'm not there now, but I am happy about the fact that I'm not where I used to be. I can honestly look at myself in the mirror and say, you aren't where you used to be. You aren't reacting to things the way you used to react. So that's good. So this past week and a half is just another exercise for me, another chance for me to grow and to evolve and to get better and to show myself that you are growing, you are getting better, you are starting to react to things a lot better than you used to. And that's all I can really ask for. Like, obviously it sucks that anybody, not just me, but anybody got to go through things, but that's life. You know, I've said it before, you live long enough, you're going to go through things. You're going to go through ups and downs. You're going to go through good and bad. You know, you can't ever really appreciate the up moments, the high moments, the elevated moments if you never go through those low moments. So you got to go through the low moments to really appreciate the up moments. And So, when you're down, those up moments also motivate you when you're down, because you remember what it was like to be at the mountaintop. So when you're down there in that valley, it motivates you to get up out that valley because you remember what it was like at that mountaintop. So you need both sides. You need the down time to appreciate when you're up, because you remember what it was like to be down, and then when you're down, you remember what it was like to be up. So it motivates you to get back up and not stay down there and not continue to feel sorry for yourself, but get motivated to push through these tough times and get to where you want to be, because you remember what it was like to be up. You know what I'm saying? And you remember what it was like to be down, so you don't want to stay down forever. So hopefully that pushes you past those pity parties and things like that. But yeah, man, it's like I'm growing. I know I'm growing. I feel myself growing. I feel myself getting better with dealing with people, with talking with people, with having uncomfortable conversations with people, and just being honest with people. These situations, and I know that they're happening for a reason. I may not understand what the reason is, and I may not, and it might, because I'm in it, so I don't really see the big picture, but I know part of the reason is I got to show myself that I'm serious about improving. I have to show myself that I'm serious about growing. I'm serious about getting better. I'm serious about wanting to change my ways on the inside. I don't want this to just be like a surface level change. I want to change the core of me. And like I talked about, I want to say in last week's episode, I know that a lot of me was built. I was developing at the same time that I was going through a lot of my trauma. So a lot of my traumas are, the building blocks of my development. I developed a lot of who I am while going through a lot of my childhood trauma, a lot of trauma that I went through as a child. So it's a lot of tearing down that I have to do of myself just to build myself up. But that's what I want to do. That's what this process is, you know what I'm saying? Is learning how to tear myself down in a constructive way to build myself up, So I know that a lot of the things that I've been going through these past couple of months, and that I'll continue to go through for the rest of my life, are going to help mold and build me into the person that I want to be, because I've gone through things before, but I didn't care about learning whatever lesson I needed to learn. I didn't care about learning those lessons. I didn't care. Only thing I cared about was just getting through it. Whatever it was, I didn't care about learning the lesson. I didn't care about why I went through it. I didn't care about what started it. None of that. These are things now that I try my best to analyze now. I try to analyze how I got myself in this situation. Did I get myself in this situation, or did someone else get me into this situation? And if someone else did, why and how did they? Or is there anything that I could have done to not allow them to put me in this situation? So it's so many questions that I'm asking myself, not only when the situation happens, but in the beginning, but in the middle, and even once I start to get out of this situation, I'm still asking myself all these questions, because I want to know why I'm getting myself in these situations, especially if it's situations that I found myself in before. It's like, why do I keep finding myself in this situation? And again, especially if it's a situation that I keep finding myself in with the same person, then it's like, okay, I need to take a step back and really assess myself and assess this person and assess our relationship with each other, and what is it about our relationship that keeps putting us in these negative positions, in these negative spaces, and how can I help either fix it, or is there just no fixing it because we just don't mix well? And again, that's something that I've also learned, that it's okay to let stuff go because we just don't mix well. Because for the longest time, I always thought that I was abandoning this person, or this person was abandoning me. But it's like, no, this person might be putting themselves first, and that's not a selfish thing. That's necessary for growth. You have to put yourself first. You got to take care of yourself. You got to do what you need to do to help build yourself into the person that you want to be, because you can't be there for others. You can't support others. You can't pour into others until you build yourself up, until you take care of yourself, until you pour into yourself. So You know what I'm saying? So now I can look back at situations where I thought somebody was just turning their back on me, or so when I thought that someone was just, giving up on me, and it was just honestly, no, they just saw that, just being honest, me being 100% transparent. They saw that I was giving up on myself. They saw that I didn't want much for myself. They saw that I was okay with working this 9 to 5 and living this easy, simple life. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want more for myself. And they realized, okay, I can't want. They may have seen something great in me, but because I didn't see it in myself, or because I wasn't willing to work to bring that potential out, they may have said, I can't want it more than he wants it, or I can want it for him, but if he doesn't want it for himself, it doesn't matter. And they may have just said, you know what, I can't keep putting him before me. I can't keep trying to put his progress before my progress. And they just put themselves first, and they did what they had to do. And now that I can understand that, and I can understand why someone would do that, and I can separate the two, because there is a difference between just giving up on somebody and realizing that somebody's giving up on themselves, and you understanding that there comes a time when you gotta put yourself first. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand the difference, and I can separate the two. And now I'm at a point now where I'm trying to put myself first. I'm trying to put my growth, my improvement, my healing, these things that I know that I need to go through. I'm starting to put those things first, and I'm okay with it. I'm happy with it. I understand that there are going to be people who feel a certain way about it. I understand that there's going to be people who hate it. I understand that there's going to be people who feel betrayed by it, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that. I've accepted that there are going to be people who feel a certain type of way, because I felt a certain type of way when it happened to me, because I didn't understand what the other person was going through. I was just looking at it from my standpoint. And so there are going to be people who only look at it from their standpoint only, and that's the only way they're looking at it. And that's okay too, because I don't know where they are in life. I don't know where they are in their journey, so I can't get mad at them for just looking at themselves. If that's how they choose to look at it, then that's fine. I can understand why they're frustrated from that standpoint. But from my standpoint, I gotta do what's best for me. It's time for me to heal, so that I can be a better person, so that I can be the person that I want to be, so that I can be the eventual, you know what I'm saying, husband, and all of those things that I know that I can be, that I know that I have the potential to be. But I have a lot of healing to do, and a lot of barriers to break, and a lot of ceilings to, go through, to get to where I need to be, to get to my potential. And so that takes a lot of time. That takes a lot of separation. That takes a lot of selfishness to get to where I need to be. And so right now in this moment, I'm saying I'm choosing me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not doing it in a malicious way. I'm not doing it in an evil way. I don't have any evil intent behind it. But I'm just saying I got to choose me. I got to choose my healing. I got to choose my self-care, and just getting me to where I need to be, so that I can be the best version of myself. And once I start to get to those points, I have no problem with trying to help other people with the tools that I picked up to help me, to help somebody else. But I definitely got to make sure that I'm good first, because there's no point in me trying to help somebody and now we both struggling because I'm not where I need to be to even try to help somebody. And I feel like too many times that's what happens. We're trying to help people because, again, we grew up with this person. We care about this person. We love this person. This person showed us so much support. And it's like, the moment you get up even a little bit, you feel like, let me help this person. And it's like you haven't even set your foundation enough to where your foundation can barely support you. But now you want to bring somebody else onto the same foundation that can barely hold you. And now you wondering why you down. You wondering why you in a lesser situation than what you was just in before you tried to help this person. And I'm not saying not to help them, but I'm saying you got to realize that there's a great time to help somebody, and then there's not. There's times when you can help somebody, and then there's times when you can't. There's times when you need to focus on you and not focus on trying to help people. You got to get yourself together. You got to make sure your foundation is solid. And so right now, that's where I am with everything. I'm just trying to make sure that my foundation is solid so that when I go to help my friends, my family, the people who supported me through a lot of tough times over the past couple of years, when I go to help them, I want to make sure that my foundation is solid and can withstand the weight of me helping this person, me helping that person, me doing this, me doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to continue this cycle of me getting up, me helping somebody just for me to fall, or vice versa, somebody else getting up, come to help me, and then that foundation wasn't where it needed to be. Now we falling. Now we're going through this cycle of, you know what I'm saying, taking one step forward just to take two steps back and end up right where we always were. So that just makes no sense to me now. Now that I've gone through enough things, and now that I've seen enough things, experienced enough things, I do understand that I do want to help people. I do want to help my people. I do want to help my family. I do want to help my friends and, you know, my circle of people. Of course I do. But I understand that I have to help myself first. This is one of those times where I have to put myself first, and I have to build that solid foundation so that way when I go to help other people, it makes sense. The foundation is solid. Nobody's hurting. Nobody's falling through the gaps. Nobody's falling in the hole. Nobody's having a setback because the foundation can handle it. And so that's just where I am, building my foundation, building myself up, building, you know, healing, going through everything that I need to go through to get to where I need to be so that I can start to reach back and help the people that I want to help. And you know what I'm saying? That to me is so important, and that's why, as much as I don't like being in situations like what I'm in right now, I can take the time to appreciate them because I understand that it's helping to build me into the person that I want to be. It's these little small steps that may be insignificant to everybody else that I'm starting to realize are very important, because you know, I do understand that I will get past this. I do understand that I will make it through all of this. And I do understand that it will make me better. It will make me stronger. It will make me more confident. It's taking a step towards becoming that person that I want to be and being able to deal with my emotions the way I want to be able to deal with them. All of this is just, you know what I'm saying? All of these are just steps forward. Some are big steps, some are small steps, but they're all steps. They're all steps forward in the right direction to where I'm trying to go. And so for me, that's all I care about, is that I'm starting to move in the right direction. I'm starting to move the way I want to move. I'm starting to see things the way I need to see them. I'm starting to see people the way I need to see them. I'm starting to see their true intentions. I'm starting to see people's true selves. They've been shown me, but now I'm starting to take my blinders off and see people for who they've shown me to truly be, not for who I want them to be, not for who I thought they were in the past, but for who they truly are right now in the present time. And it's made me, obviously, it's been good and bad, because there have been people who I'm starting to see their true intentions and their true colors, who I have enjoyed having around. But it's like, once you start to see these things, and you know, once they always say, when you know better, you do better. So now that I know better and I'm starting to see these things, how can I continue to be around this person? How can I continue to smile with this person when I know your character is showing me this? You're showing me that you're this type of person. You're showing me, and it's just like, it's bittersweet, because, you know, it's sweet because you're starting to see people for who they really are. But then the bitter part is, now you got to stop dealing with people who at one point in time you probably didn't see yourself without. You didn't see yourself moving up in life or moving to these next levels in life without some of these people, because these are some of your closest friends and things like that. And it's just like some of your family members, and it's just like, wow. Again, you can appreciate the fact that, you know, the wool is off your eyes and you can start to see people, but then it's like, dang, I never thought it would be you. I never thought you would be one of those people. Dang, you too? So it definitely hits you like a ton of bricks. But it's also a good thing because once you start to get those people out your lives, now you start to breathe a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying? Now you starting to feel that stress starting to come off your shoulders. Now you can relax a little bit more. So yeah, it does suck and it is uncomfortable in the beginning, but once you start to get used to it, you start to realize, oh man, this is what a little bit of peace feels like. This is what a little bit of freedom feels like. And I mean, and I've said this before and I'll continue to say it, once you start to genuinely get a piece of peace, you want to protect it. And even if that means you got to get rid of some of your closest people, you going to do what you got to do to protect your peace. You know what I'm saying? I think it was Omarion who said one time, like, don't mess with somebody who's at peace or something along those lines. And it's like, okay, yeah, that does make sense. But it's like once you start to experience peace, you really start to understand how strong that message is. And it's just like, nah, like yeah, when you start to really find peace and you really start to be at peace with yourself, the people who are in your life, the people who aren't in your life, the things that you aren't doing anymore, the things that you are doing, once you start to find peace in those things, you would be surprised if you haven't experienced it. And mind you, I would say before 4 or 5 months ago, I don't think I've ever experienced true peace in my life. So I just was comfortable. There's a difference between peace and comfort. I've experienced comfort. I don't think I've ever experienced peace, and I'm starting to experience at least just a piece of peace now. And so there are people who I never thought that I would get rid of or stop talking to in my life, and vice versa. I don't think there was people who probably looked at me and thought, okay, I would never stop talking to DJ. But again, once they started to find peace and they started to realize that things about my mindset, things about the way I viewed life, things about me just disturbed their peace, it was like, nah, you gotta go. And same thing with me. There were things that the way other people viewed things that just disturbed me, disturbed my peace, disturbed my mindset, and I just had to let that go. That like, no, you gotta go, because my peace means that much to me that I'm willing to part ways with some of my closest friends, family, whatever, whoever. I'm willing to let that go to keep my peace, and that's just how valuable it is. And I've never realized that, because what I thought was peace was really just my comfort zone, my comfort. And so now that I'm starting to realize what at least just a piece of peace, I want to keep saying it because I don't want to make it seem like, oh, I'm at peace, oh, I've made it, oh, I've arrived. No, but I'm starting to chip away at a lot of things, and behind me chipping away some of these things, I'm starting to get little nuggets of peace. And so when I get those little pockets of peace, I want to hold on to them. And I'm starting to realize that, yes, I am more than willing to let go of a lot of people to keep this peace in my life in any way, shape, or form. So, man, so like I said, these past couple of months has shown me a lot about myself. A lot of it I have not liked. But I'm so thankful that I've seen it, and I'm so thankful that I've gotten to get a true picture of myself in, how can I put it? I'm just glad that I've gotten to get a true picture of myself, like, just a real look at myself, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. And just say, I do not like this person. I do not like the person that I've become over the years. I do not like the way I react to certain things. I do not like the way I deal with certain people in my life. I don't like the fact that there are people that I genuinely care about, but because I don't know how to express my care, and because I don't know how to express my love, I've run them off. And I've run off myself because, again, just being scared of these emotions and things like that people are bringing out of me. I'm just so thankful. I hate that I've put so many people through so much stuff over these past couple of years to get to this point, but I'm just so thankful that I'm at this point now where I can literally start seeing, really assessing everything that I'm doing, and I can just start to heal. And so now that I'm starting to heal, there are relationships that are starting to get better, because there are relationships that I realized that they've gone as far as they can go, and we need to cut it off because there's nothing left there. There's no juice left in this. There's nothing left in this relationship, this friendship. It's time to let that go. And so it's just opening my eyes to so many things. And so if I could leave anybody with anything, it would just be start healing. It's so important to start healing, or to just to get a real assessment of yourself, a true assessment of yourself. Make sure that you got people around you who gonna give it to you real, who gonna tell you you're wrong when you're wrong, who are gonna tell you you didn't handle that the right way when you didn't handle things the right way, who can just keep it 100% with you and be honest with you and hold you accountable. Get those people in your lives. If you have those people in your lives and you can't stand them, I get it, but keep them in your lives, because you need those things to keep you grounded and to give you a real perspective of where you are in life and you know what I'm saying, and how you might be changing and becoming something that you're truly not. So you want to keep those people around you, and definitely start healing from the things, from those traumas and those hurts and those pains, heartaches, whatever, all of it. You want to start healing. So man, if I could just tell anybody anything, man, just start healing it. It's never too late. Start going to therapy. Go to do what you need to do to start healing, so that way you can just move on in your life, man. Because I hate that I stayed stuck in a hurt place for so long, but I have to forgive myself and start moving forward. And so it's okay to forgive yourself. It's okay to acknowledge that you messed up. It's okay to acknowledge that you're not perfect. Nobody is. I don't care what they say. Nobody's perfect. But now it's time to start healing and moving forward, because you know better. So now it's time to start doing better. And with that, man, I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to listen. I appreciate everybody who has clicked the like button, clicked the share button, clicked the listen button, downloaded the podcast. I appreciate y'all more than y'all know. And I want to continue growing. So again, thank y'all for taking the time to listen. Please leave a comment. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And man, let's just continue growing all 2024. Y'all have a blessed day.